Hello and welcome to today's video. This is the second video I've done on this channel in a while, and as I said in the last video, my locals has just had its first speed duel tournament. This map was like, everybody got one. Anyway, so this is a deck somebody else ran at the tournament. I can't remember what place they got, but they definitely didn't get first. This did manage to combat a couple of Blue Eyes and Amazon S decks. So we start with this skill, Millennium Eye. Really good skill because it allows you to see your opponent's hand. Generally, you don't get them to reshuffle their hand. Now this is for one simple reason. At that point, you've lost all advantage you have. So you either want them to brick, or if it's Blue Eyes, you want to let them get out a good hand. Because when I tested this deck myself after the tournament, I realized that you want your opponent to get your their Blue Eyes, so you can just steal it with Relinquished. Okay? So, that's the skill. Next, we have 3 Rogue Dolls. Now, this card is quite a big beater. It's a spellcaster. And it's just generally there as a monster. Now, this wasn't one of the cards I put in. I have one card that I put in myself. But that's about it for that. Double Costin. Yet again, another big beater-ish. It's 17k. You can just sit there and do stuff. It generally doesn't matter. These 2 cards, the 2 sets of 3 cards, they're just there so you have monsters in your deck that are summonable and usable to summon Relinquished. So, obviously, 3 copies of Relinquished. This is your boss monster, you need the 3 copies. Generally, you use them to steal Blue Eyes, but in Amazon S, you're probably going to steal something like Swordswoman or Sage, as those 2 are... Well, Sage isn't as problematic against Relinquished Turbo as it is with Toons, but it's still pretty problematic. Well, Sage isn't problematic, but Thingy is... Yeah, Amazon S is still pretty problematic. Next, obviously, 3 Black Illusion Rituals to summon it. You need these. I mean, sorry about the non-focusing, but you rarely ever actually draw into them in your first draw phase. So, you're going to need a lot of searching and stuff to get to them. Next, we have our first draw card, Shard of Greed. Now, this is, in the version the person I got this off was playing, they were playing 2. But they did tell me afterwards that because they'd only bought the Yugi Structure decks, they didn't have 4 of the cards they needed. So when I built this version based off what they built, there was 2 Shards of Greeds in it. However, I did manage to swap out one of the Shards of Greeds and another card for a different card. However, because I too didn't buy both Structure decks, I didn't have everything I needed for the decks. So I'm running virtually what they ran. Next, we have 2 Golden Apples. This card is broken as hell. It allows you to go into a 3k beater, it allows you to get into any sort of beater. Only problem is, if you have already lost life points, you can't activate it unless, A, you don't control any monsters, and B, the opponent's monster doesn't have more life point attack than your life points. As at that point, this card just becomes useless. Now, more draw power. Pretty good, allows you to get into your Relinquished quicker. Wild Tornado. This can get rid of any problematic spell, ranging from Toon World to Amazon S Village, it's called, which was slightly problematic as far as I'm aware. And Light Force Sword. Now, this one I added in instead of Raikuki, or whatever it's called, the spell or whatever. As it works well in tandem with this. So let's say your opponent's playing Blue Eyes, and you realise they're only playing like maybe 1 Flutter Summoning Dragon, which somebody was because they'd only bought 1 Structure deck. This card can help you get rid of that card if you don't have Relinquished in your first opening hand, which I didn't in that game. So I was sitting there waiting for a while to get it. This gave me the perfect amount of time to draw into the Relinquished stuff I need to be able to take their Blue Eyes and win that game. Now, when I tested this deck, it was after the tournament, but it was against a deck from the tournament. it wasn't a top placing deck that I fixed by any means. However, the person did manage to make it to 7th place out of about 18 players. Anyway, thanks for watching my video on Relinquished Turbo. As I say, I didn't create this deck by any amount of imagination or whatever. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like or comment or whatever. Goodbye.